Do I push got it?
Yes. All right. So let me just, here we go. I think we are now live. All right. Well, this is our first town hall in a little while. I want to thank Linda Paulson for joining us. My name is Chris Knoll. I'm the chair of the Salt Lake County Republican Party. Just do a quick intro. The first thing I want to say is, first of all, thank you to Linda for being here. And then Marcy is going to host this town hall. I am going to step out, but and let Marcy and Linda talk. And then, of course, I want to make sure that everybody knows you can ask questions in the channel. But I want to start by saying thank you to everybody who has been donating to the party. It's your donations that allow us to do things like this, run these town halls. We've also have some plans for some fundraisers for the candidates for the county races. We're doing a number of things where we're getting out messaging, emails, social media, a lot of different things to help out our candidates here in Salt Lake County. And that's all for the purpose of promoting our values, our principles of the Republican Party here in Salt Lake County. I'm not going to take any more time. I think you all understand that we need your help and that we appreciate it. I hope that there's a lot of good discussion here. And I am going to now turn it over to Marcy and Linda, and then I'm going to stop sharing my screen here in just a second and let them talk.
Thank you, Chris. Just making sure you can both hear me. Just give me a thumbs up if you're able to hear me. Great, great. And I will also kind of on another screen be following along with those who are participating on YouTube. So just a quick introduction for me. I'm Marcy Hausman. I'm just thrilled to be a part of assisting in the offering of these Thursday town halls. I am on the Sandy City Council, and my job tonight is really just to get you talking, Linda, and give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to those who are watching and talk about things that are really important to you. So I will act as a host, offer some questions, and that'll really be my role is to have you do most of the talking. But I do want to thank all of those who joined us tonight via YouTube. So I will be monitoring the chat in YouTube. So those of you who are joining us, if there's a question you would have for Linda, please make sure you use the chat in YouTube to offer that question. And as we complete kind of the prepared questions we have, then I will be pulling from our YouTube chat to give Linda some additional questions to have her share some things that are important to her. So with that, Linda, why don't you take some time just to introduce yourself to those who are watching, and then we'll jump into questions.
Okay. I'm Linda Paulson. I am running for Senate, Utah Senate District 12. I'm dedicated to God, family, and the Constitution. My husband and I are longtime residents of the Salt Lake Valley. We have lived in Taylorsville 50 years, and it's a great place to raise a family. We have 9 children, 5 girls and 4 boys, and 35 plus grandchildren. We have plenty of grandchildren. So what I've observed is that we need more conservative representation on the west side here than we have had. We need a change. Our incumbent has been there 14 years, and then she missed a lot of the last session. But what I want to do is represent you, the constituents of District 12. And I think, if I hope for a lot of input, and that together we can make a difference here and make a conservative difference. I hope that will strengthen families. As your representative, I will strive to keep you informed. And the way I want to do that is by newsletters, telephone, email, texting, and such as this town halls. I think that's I'm thankful for this opportunity tonight. Thank you. The second I'll work to hold our legislature accountable to keep our children safe in schools. This is very important to me. I've been cared about this all my life. And I'll also work to have all lives respected. And then also I want to restrain government. Do you know how much government is growing every day? Neither do I. But it's on the march. It is growing. Yeah, what? They're doing what and what? So that's one of the things I'm going to be watchful. Also, we need to be more aware of our constitutional rights, and they're guaranteed rights in the Constitution. And if we don't understand the Constitution, then we won't know when we are losing our rights. So those are things that I pledge to be watching, that our constitutional rights don't get ignored. And so what I'd like to say is we need a change in Senate District 12. I'd like to be your choice. Let me be your voice. So I thank everyone that's helped me and that will be voting this way. Thank you. Vote for Linda Paulson. That's the thing I need to say. Please vote Linda Paulson, Senate District 12. Thank you.
And you'll say it again at the end, right?
Right.
And
Please.
maybe a few times in the middle.
Because if they're not registered, what good does it do to be blabbing around? We need to be registered. We need to, and that's how we show our power, is by voting. This is what I want. And so thank you.
Thank you, Linda. So to kind of get our Q&A started here, one of the things you just mentioned was your commitment to protecting families, and you mentioned a couple of ways. So if you were to be the state Senate representative for District 12, what would be some bills that you would support, or bills that you've seen come forward in the past that you would have supported? Talk a little bit about your policy. What will drive your policy? What type of bills will you support? What bills might you run? All of that as you communicate how you will protect families.
Okay. There was a bill 374 and HB 374, I think that was it, to keep pornography out of schools. And pornography does no good. I mean, it's a law to keep pornography away from schools, but here there have been creeping in to the libraries in the school books, and it's not just naked people. It is gross. So I'm totally, anything like that, I would be totally for. And I think it's just it was, no, I believe it was passed and then they were trying to implement it. So I'm completely supportive of that. Another bill that I thought, what? This is completely unfair to girls' sports was biological boys, I think it was HB 11, playing on girls' sports teams. And the reason I would be so up in arms over that, it's not fair. I was a PE major. I was good. I thought, you think, I mean, I just thought that was a good experience in high school. And I just would be excelling in every sport, and I loved it. But put me up against a biological boy, and it was no contest. And so it's just not fair. These girls are working towards scholarships. Anyway, that was one of the issues I was very conscious of, and very desirous that it didn't pass. And then all the hoopla after, I don't get it, because it's just not fair. It's not fair to women. It's not fair to girls. And so whatever's going to happen with that, I would say our society is into this, what's happening and the lawsuits or whatever is going on, but I would not recommend that. I think we got to use our good sense. What's fair and what's not fair? And so to me, that was not fair. So did I answer that, or did I just jabber?
Yeah, no, I think you would definitely stress things that you would, support in terms of protecting families. So I heard that loud and clear. And in fact, I was reminded of something that I heard just this week. A prominent medical school did a study on what factors contributed to the success of their medical students. And then they communicated these factors to their students and said, here are 5 things that we have learned. If you really focus on these 5 things, you will succeed in medical school and beyond. And one of the 5, avoid pornography. And this was a, medical school doing its own research and coming to that conclusion. To be successful in medical school, one of the 5 factors, avoid pornography. So there you go.
I think I believe that it messes your brain up. That seeing something like that could cause a person to think, oh, that's normal, where it is so abnormal. And so the abnormal becomes the normal, and I think it messes people up, and I'm very sad that it got such a hold. So I'm against that. And well, I forgot. There was something else that I was thinking. I want to do this. I want to get in, and I know what it was. I think we have gotten away from really teaching the Constitution. I think there's a little here, a little there, but not the basics. And so I really would like to see the constitutional amendments that have been happening. Whoop, I've gone. What happened?
I see you. I still see you.
Okay, well, I can't see you anymore. I wonder if I touched something, but anyway, that's one of the things I'd like to make sure. I think there has been a constitutional amendment that there be more taught in school, but it's going to take a desire to, we're all making choices all the time, every day, every minute. And so the teachers would need to also be, have got to be doing that. And I think parents have got to be teaching it. That's what I say. I think we are losing our rights because we don't know what they are.
My daughter used to teach middle school social studies, and she had a program that I feel like had a great impact on her students, and it was called We the People, and it was all about the Constitution, and students really came away from that We the People. It was a year-long study essentially of the Constitution, and then applying the Constitution to real life events in our day. And I remember even Congressman Owens coming to one of the We the People events that she was hosting at her school. And there's, state that across the state, there are definitely schools and districts that are seeing the value of that We the People program. And like you've said, the value of teaching the Constitution to our students. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Marcy. What grade was she teaching?
Middle school. So 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
And if they had some in grade school too.
I don't know that the We the People program starts as young as elementary. I could look into that, but I know it starts it's a strong program in the middle school. And then I believe there's like a next level competition for high school.
It's wonderful. It should be taught. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So another thing that I imagine you've followed closely and would continue to follow closely as you serve in the Senate is how the legislature is working to solve the challenges associated with growth in Utah. And those challenges have everything to do from transportation to water to housing, all of that. So what are some of your thoughts on the challenges we are facing in Utah relative to growth? And how would you, as a member of the state Senate, how would you problem solve around solutions for those challenges?
Well, I would be very, very open to that subject, because as each of our children have gotten married, they like to stay around their family. They've usually got a job here. All of our children, except one, all of them are married and they're all in Utah, except one son that's in Idaho. So that is a subject that I'm very interested in. And my husband and I have said, how can they build all these apartments? And how do they get the water and everything that they need? And how are what are they doing? What precautions are they doing to be watchful for what's happening? The infrastructure, that's what I meant to say. So I think that people that are building, people that manage water, everyone will need to be on the list of what can be done. There's a lot of issue with our air also. And the thing I think about all of this is I care about it all, but I'm really, really very focused on what's happening in the schools and in families and in our neighborhoods. Are we strengthening the family? And so that's one of the things that I care more about, these issues that are happening that I think is destroying our society than even air and water and the traffic. But it's all important. So I don't know whether I answered that or just whatever.
I think you are sharing what's important to you, and that's what our viewers are looking to learn about. And so I don't think there's one way to answer the question. I just ask the questions and you talk about what matters to you.
You.
So thank you for that. All right, the next question takes it to, so we just kind of had a couple of questions about the legislature level. This question asks you to kind of think about the legislature's role as it works with county government. So recently, and I'm sure you remember this, the legislature overturned a Salt Lake County mask mandate, which received both praise and some criticism. What do you believe the role of the state is regarding its political subdivisions?
Well, when that happened, I was kind of confused, because I think government works best when it works least. I think there's too much mandating and all of that. So I didn't understand the legislature saying anything to the county. I think the citizens needed to say something to the county. And I think in our cities, we need to say something to our cities. This is where the city's governing the city, the county, and the legislature, the state. And so I didn't understand that. I didn't like that very much.
Thank you. Another kind of topic, perhaps that we can hear some from you about is the media. So this is referring to an article that the Salt Lake Tribune published back in May 25th. They published an article attempting to scandalize the social media activities of several Republican lawmakers in the state. What are your thoughts about the constant media attacks on anything or everything conservative in our state? And as a member of the state Senate, how would you work with the media to ensure equal representation in the press for conservative values and principles?
I would think that my job would be to represent Senate District 12. As far as the media goes, one of the wonderful things I remember long ago was Radio Free Europe, and hearing and feeling so grateful that there was news being published in Europe, and knowing that there was a honest reporting. I liked that. And I grew up thinking that the news was worthy to present both sides. And so right now, for me, I'm distrustful of the news organizations. I kind of take it with a grain of salt. I listen, I watch, I try to get the facts myself, but I'm quite upset when a reporter will give one side slanted and not report the other side. So I'm going to represent District 12. I don't really think I'll be having much to do with the media. So that's all. I don't know, but I will find out.
That's such a good point. Like, you're going to go in there to serve, and you will come up with your plan for the media should you need a plan, but your focus will be to serve. I appreciate that so much. As a reminder to our viewers who've joined us on YouTube, please submit your questions in the chat. We've got just one more question, kind of a question we prepared in advance that we're going to ask of Linda, and then I would like to lean on those of you who are viewing from home and some of the questions that you have. So a reminder, go to the YouTube chat and share your questions there so that I can pull from them and ask Linda. All right, so Linda, we hear a lot at multiple levels of government about election integrity. What are some of your thoughts for improving election integrity?
Well, I was one of the people that went door to door to collect signatures to secure the vote. Why would we want to even vote if somebody can corrupt it and bring in a box of votes, ballots, people that have passed away, people that have moved? So I care very much about that. We need to feel secure. I was an election judge for many, many years. And I liked it. People came in, showed their ID. They would sign their name, get a ballot, go mark it, bring it back. After the voting was over, on the same day, all this took place on one day. And then we would count the ballots and take them to the county pickup. And so when it changed, I really like to get my mail-in ballot. Then I can study the names. I can take more time. It seems very convenient. The thing that I've been concerned about are the machines. But one of our sons works for in the internet, and he knows a lot of stuff. He said, Mom, if the machines can be made secure, that the software in the machines is secure, it will be okay. And just know that there can be corruption anytime. And so I will work very, very hard. I care very much about voting because I felt like just the confusion of the last general election, that it was confusing, and we saw pictures of people stuff in the ballot boxes and stuff. Is this true? I mean, it's just a confusing time. And yes, we need election integrity. And I feel like some of these things that I'm talking about, they need to become laws, because only where the voting is, they can only do what is a law. So we'll keep trying.
Thank you, Linda. We've got one more prepared question, and then I'm going to pull from the chat. So again, final reminder, we've got now 4 minutes left in our town hall tonight. So be sure if you're joining us virtually to add your question to the chat. Final question from kind of our prepared list. In 2021, the legislature passed a law requiring cities to adopt new zoning ordinances that specifically addressed accessory dwelling units, or ADUs. So through zoning, cities are charged with determining where and how these ADUs, these accessory dwelling units, will exist. How would you support the effort to address both affordable housing and housing affordability? And you mentioned this earlier. Sorry, Linda, you mentioned this earlier, that that's a concern you have for your own children who want to be able to buy a home, and they want to stay in Utah and buy a home. So this kind of, dovetails on what you mentioned earlier that's important to you.
Okay, well, thank you. I talked to a realtor about ADUs, and I liked some of his suggestions. One of them is that for our family, what we did, I mean, who can afford a $400,000 home getting started? Who can even afford $2,000 a month rent? It's so expensive. And so we have had several of our children, our ADU, or attached unit, would be our basement. And we had a couple of bedrooms down there that were empty after the children have married and moved. But each time, if they needed help, we were happy to help them. And so our family worked together. Also, it could be an attached unit on the side of your house that could be built, almost like another apartment. And then I thought of tiny homes. And there's a lot of to do with a tiny home. And however, if you had enough property, the tiny home could be on your property. And so that would help your family. Let's see, anything else? Can't remember the second part of your question, but I think that affordable housing is a big issue. And Senator Lee has been working, trying to get the federal government to release land so that it wouldn't have to be buying up our farmland. If they will release land, that will make more property for whatever kind of units can be built there, but it would be more housing. And if I lived in California, I want to come here too. I love Utah, and I'm sorry for what's going on. I shouldn't probably mention that, but anyway, that would be my answer, is help work together as a family. And if you can, to put something so your family can be helped until they can get on their feet.
Thank you, Linda. So we have a question from our chat, and we've got we've got about a minute, so Linda, maybe answer it as quickly as you can, and then go right into kind of whatever your final message is. So if you could answer the question and then use whatever time is left to just kind of give us your summary statement, and we'll conclude there. So this question is, how do you feel about government bureaucrats and politicians making health decisions for children, specifically forcing masks and vaccinations and ignoring parental rights?
I'm opposed to big government doing things like that and making a mandate. I do not like mandates. I thought it was wrong what they said, what they were mandating. So I'm against that. And I think parents are the people that help their children and teach them and guide them, not the school telling what to do, or not the government. Is that okay?
Absolutely. I was just going to let you keep going kind of and
Keep
provide
going.
your summary
Okay.
statement.
One thing I didn't say then was, I want to say this now, is God's laws bring peace to the world and the family, no matter what your religion is. Follow the tenets. God's laws will, and to remove God from families is a big mistake. I'd also like to say that families are the fundamental unit of society. This is where the strength comes, and teaching them how to make good choices, and then loving them and making strong communities with the love of our families. And I think ignoring the Constitution, we will lose our freedom. So I want to also say we need a change in Utah District 12. We need a choice. I'd like to be your voice. So vote Linda Paulson. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Linda, for your time tonight. And thank you to those who've joined us and been watching on YouTube. Let your friends and neighbors know that there's a recording of this town hall, and all of our town halls leading up to the general election will be available on our YouTube series. Make sure you go to our Utah GOP website and you can find all of our town hall information there. Linda, thank you so much for jumping into this race. As an elected official, I know what it's like to run a campaign and how exhausting it is. And I appreciate your efforts so very much. And I'm grateful for the time you've spent with us tonight. We wish you the best and keep getting your message out there. And we're cheering you on.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.